Okay, I had a student have a question on how to do this problem from a SEPI, and what it asks you to do, it asks you to go to Yahoo Finance and download the weekly stock price data for Target and Walmart for these complete 3 years. So they give you a little link here to go to Yahoo Finance, so let's go ahead and click on that. And the first thing we want to do is go Target, so I'll go TARGT, and right away it comes up with Target. The ticker for Target is TGT. We go to historical data, and we want to make sure we change this to weekly, and then we're going to go for a start date. We go up here to this month and then scroll up. We want to start in 2015 in January 1st, and then for end date, go up here and scroll up. We want to end in 2017 December 31st, so that gets the entire 3 years. And then don't forget to go apply. Now, you'll see when you look at this, it has open, high, low, close, and adjusted close. And if you remember the problem, it asks to use down here the adjusted close returns, or adjusted close prices in order to calculate returns. So adjusted close, what that does is takes into account days like this where you get those dividend, because that dividend is actually calculated into the price. Okay, and so that's why the close and adjusted close. It also, adjusted close accounts for something called stock splits. So normally you want to use adjusted close. So you go apply, and then download, and it has something called a CSV file. So it looks like Excel opens it up, but this is really not Excel. See what it says CSV. If it was Excel, it'd say XLSX, right? So that stands for comma separated value. But anyway, let's go ahead and just, I'm going to get the date, and I'm going to hold down Control and highlight the adjusted close in order to get two non-contiguous sets of data. And when I'm over the highlighted, I'll just go right click, copy, and then I'm going to go ahead and open up a fresh Excel. And since I said that was a CSV file, it says open up a new Excel, and I'm going to go Control V to paste that in. And I'm going to go change that to TGT for Target. And then we'll go back to Yahoo. And now we want to do Walmart. And Walmart is WMT, it says. And we can double click on that. And again, we'll go historical data. And we'll do the same thing. Make sure you do this to weekly. Don't forget that. And then start date up here, scroll up to 2015, January 1st, end date, and we'll scroll up to 2017, December 31st, done. Make sure those look right. The days change a little bit, but that's alright. Make sure you apply it, download it, open it up, and again, we're just going to get this day. I like to take the dates with. I'm going to click column A, hold down Control, click column F because that's what I want. While I'm on the gray area, right click, go copy, and then we will go back to the Excel, and we'll go Control V to paste it in. And I'll change this to WMT for Walmart. So these are prices. So we can go ahead, if you want to, you could highlight those and call them prices. Alright, now remember those are the adjusted close prices. So that's one way to do it. Another way you can do it is you go to this website here. It's called Jason Strimple. Let me copy this into Excel so you can see it. Put it right over here, kind of out of the way. So that's where it's at. It's called bulk stock download. If you actually Google that, it'll probably take you to it too. And so you could actually make a CSV with 500 tickers if you wanted to, and go get them all. But we just need 2 tickers, so it's easier just to click this button. And we're going to go put in TGT and then comma WMT, because those are the 2 stocks we want. Make sure, don't forget to change this to weekly also, or you're not going to get the data you want. This is how you get the adjusted close, because this goes to Yahoo Finance also. And then you're going to change these dates accordingly to what we want. And pretty simple, December 31st, and we're going to go to 2017, and we'll leave everything. I believe everything else this here we're going to leave in Excel. We don't want a CSV, we want Excel. I'll go get series. So it goes out to Excel and gets it. We can open it up. And there they are. Let's just go ahead and copy them. I'm going to go enable editing. Let me just go ahead and copy these into my original Excel file, just so you can see that it'd be pretty much the same results. Okay, and again, we'll do these as dollars and cents also. All right, so both of them get the same one. I think this one's a little bit quicker, especially when you start getting into 5 or 6, you know, or more. It'll download them very easily for you. All right, so another way you can do it, I'm going to go over here on the right and do it here. You can go something. You could go. We could go 1/1/2015. So that's when I want to start, and I want to go to 12/31/2017. That's where I want to end. And I can go over here. I can put in Walmart. Well, I targets first, right? Go target. TGT. I'm going to skip one. And I go WMT. And I can do something called stock history. That's built into Excel. And it asks for the stock, which is target. Then comma. Start date here. End date here. We want to make sure it's weekly. And then if you hit enter, it'll put those in there for you. Let me move the target over here. And I'll move Walmart over here. And we do the same thing for Walmart. I'll go equal stock history. And this time we want Walmart. Start date, end date, weekly. And now you'll notice that a couple things right away. This is 75.33. This is 63, right? This is 85. So when you use, so someone say, well, I use stock history. Well, one thing about stock history, it does not take into account, it's not an adjusted close, it's just the close price. You remember when we went to Yahoo Finance, and we have these dividends. It doesn't account for dividends and stock splits. So at this point, you know, they're slowly working on that stock history. That's a fairly new function on Excel. I think eventually they will start having adjusted close because that's a lot more useful. Maybe in another version of Excel they will. But I just want you to be aware that's also there in Excel. All right. So let's go back to the problem we're working on. They want us to calculate it the weekly returns for Walmart. All right. So we want to find part 1, expected returns, and we'll do it for both, even though this wants Walmart. We'll do them for both. We will do them for target. We'll call it return. Expected. Well, before we do the expected returns, we have to do figure out the returns first, right? So maybe I should go here and go returns. And we can go return a target and the return a Walmart. Now we lose a day because we have to use the day before, right? So that's why I started down one day later, because I need one day ahead. I can't start here because I don't have a day in front of it. So this is equal to, the simple return is just going to be equal to this divided by this minus 1, right? And we can make that %, take it out a few places. And we can copy it over and just send it down. So those are all the daily returns, or weekly returns, right? We call it weekly returns. All right. So now they want to find the expected return for the return on Walmart. Well, we could call it Walmart, I guess. Walmart. And, well, target is the first one, right? So I'll go target. Let me just do this. Equals target. And equals Walmart. Right? So this is basically going to be equal to the average of all of these. I'm going to hold on the shift key, SHIFT, hit the end key once, CND, and hit the down arrow. And then and that takes me all the way to the bottom real quickly, and then hit enter. And copy that across. And we can take that out one more place just to make sure. So there, well, you know, I think the book had it this many places. So that's the answer to that, right? So that was the answer to the first one. And we can check. We can go ahead and put this in here just so we have it as a reference. Okay, and then I guess I could put this in the solution area. These are question marks, right? All right. So, all right. So, the only problem is, see, when I moved this, it moved it down because I copied it down. So I'm going to move it back up and then copy that across. Now, another thing you can do, I could just highlight all these, go shift in down, and I can go over here and go return on TGT and hit enter. Now the problem is if I have more than one tab, it's still going to go back where I name this range is I can't have that same name range in another tab on the Excel workbook. But it works if you're just going to use it on one worksheet. I'm going to highlight all this data. I'm going to call that the return on Walmart. All right. So now if I do the second part, so what's the second question? Part 2, we'll do part 2 and 3 at the same time. So they want the standard deviation on Walmart, right? That's part 2. So part 2, they want the standard deviations. I'm going to go ahead and insert the standard deviation symbol. It's under insert, symbol. And I used it recently, so I have it down here. Go insert, close. And they want to know the standard deviation for Walmart. Right? And so let's copy this down. So now I can go equal standard deviation dot samples. And since I named that range, I can just go RTGT. You see right away how it highlights that when I put that in, and then close it, and then hit enter. And this one is equals standard deviation dot sample RWMT, enter. All right, and we can copy that format, and this is percent. And those don't have to be yellow, right? Because those are, so the answer is 0.29355. I guess they have this out more places, 552, and that's the same answer they have in the book. So the next thing it asks for is a covariance. So I can go equals, so part 3, we want the covariance between the two stocks. So I could go equals covariance, and then we want a sample covariance. And I could go RTGT, RWMT, and it does that for me very quickly. And we got the same answer, 0.00326,009. Looks like they took that out a few more places, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's the same answer that the book had. So let's go look at part 4. Part 4, they want the correlation coefficient. Let's go ahead and just put it down here. Okay, so the correlation coefficient in statistics, they usually use the Greek letter rho. So I'll go ahead and get that. I'll go insert, symbol. This is rho right here. And that's what they want. And let me go ahead and copy this. Control C, Control V. And so this is going to be equal to correlation, CORREL, and go returns on Target and returns on Walmart. Now you can do those backwards. Go returns Walmart and returns Target, and I'll get the same answer. I'll do it right down below here. Equals correl returns on Walmart, returns on Target. It gives you the same answer either way. Okay. Covariance works the same way. Whether you put in either order you put them in, it gives you the same answer. So that's pretty simple. So Excel makes it very easy to calculate these things. And let's check 0.402831874. Take it out one more place. Okay. So anyway, that's how you do it. Now another way you could do it, you know how I went up. Now you can see these. See how I added these in here? So you may want to edit those sometimes. Where you're going to edit, you can go into formulas, and under name manager they have them there. So you can go in there and delete those if you want, or edit them. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing that often people use, they use something called a table. So you could highlight all these, and then when they're highlighted, I hit Control T. T as in Tom. Control T, and I can make that a table and ask you if my table has headers. Is that the names of those variables? And they say yes, it does, and I go okay. And then if I wanted to calculate all these again, so I could go equals average, and you know, let me change that. So this is called a table, so I can go back into formulas. I can go into name manager, and maybe instead of calling it table 1, I might want to call it P for problem underline 11, problem 11. Okay, and then so now I renamed that table. Instead of table 1, I call it problem 11. So now I can go here and go equals average, and then I can go problem 11, right? And then if I hit this little bracket, it gives me our target, right? And that's what I want. And then if I close, well, then I have to close it. Then I have to close this with a little bracket, close it with a parentheses, and it puts the same number in before me. Another easy way, instead of doing that, type in and go equals average, and I can just highlight all these numbers, and it automatically type the table notation in for me. So if you go look, let me go to the whole, let me format it as a percent again. If you go look, it has, oh, I didn't use the, I used the what we named it up here. But anyway, if I wouldn't have named the ranges, you could, you know, you wouldn't have had to type it. It would have done that table thing for me. Remember how we went to P11, and then square bracket, our target, square bracket. So I would have done that automatically if I hadn't named the ranges previously over here, but it still works. And then I could drag this to the right, and it's automatically can advance to Walmart. And I could drag it down. I can change this to standard deviation, not sample, and I could drag it to the right. I could drag this down. I can change this to covariance, dot sample, and then I would have to go here for my other one. I'd have to go comma P11 R WMT, close bracket, enter, and then I could drag this down and then change this to correlation. And we get the same answers, right? Now these are numbers. Put those as numbers. And so we have that. Well, let me take it out a couple places. So we have the same thing. It's just a different way to do things. Now, why you say, well, why would I do a table? That seems like a lot of extra work. Well, one reason you might do it is you might add data on the bottom of the list. Well, the table will automatically append, and that can be very useful sometimes, right? To automatically, as I add data, it will automatically update your calculations. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful. I know I showed you a lot of extra stuff, but sometimes that's nice to see. My picture will come up here. If you like this video, click on my picture to subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up. Give me any comments, as usual. Thanks for watching. Bye.